give this a few minutes and see who wanders in. If anybody wanders in, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so I may end up with no viewers. Oh, first in, what's up, Alexis? And Trail Dust. What's up, Kevin? So I'm gonna, I guess Jack made one the other day and made a steak flipper out of a railroad spike. And I've done them before, I've just never done them with a railroad spike. There's one I did before. It's pretty simple. Here's one. He makes really small tips. But that was North Country Forge, Steve. Tall Mass. Tabaka, what's up? Hey guys, I've never done one of the a steak flipper out of a railroad spike. I've done, like I said, I did them out of, you know, just 1/4 inch or 3/8 stock. And so I'm going to make one out of a railroad spike. I'm just deciding whether I want to do the whole thing by hand or if I want to use the power hammer. I have the hammer here. So what do you guys think? They are fun. Okay. So I got my those style tongs. Those are just the Ken's Custom Iron blanks. I didn't even round up the handles or anything. I mean, I just hit them the last couple inches on the grinder. 5-minute stream or half hour. No hammer after 8 p.m. Just trying to get that area below the head down to 1/2 inch. I'm going to take one more heat, hammer in that area more. And then after that I'll take the kiss block out and start drawing out a taper to the end. And you know, technically I probably could do it $100,000 in a hammer can, huh? Yeah, okay, I think it was about 60 bucks. It's just cheap Logitech webcams. And Thomas, I can do it by hand. I mean, I'm not using that because I have to. And I could do both. I could do one on the hammer and then one by hand after that. We'll see how it goes. I'm just not as young as I used to be. So what's everybody else up to? I guess I'm surprised. Most people aren't just watching the Super Bowl right now. Can you? 100,000 rupees. Alright, let's try again. Alright, so now we got the whole spike down basically to a 1/2 inch square. I think they start out around 5/8. I don't know, I'll have to check it. That gives me some extra length so that if you don't reduce the size below the head, it doesn't give you much room when you twist the handle or, you know. Alright, so I took the kiss block out, now I can start tapering that down. I just got to figure out how much I'm going to leave for a handle. Just got back in there, running in the mornings. So Thomas, I decided that I would go ahead and join in on the February challenge. So yesterday I started making it. Tomorrow I should be finished. I'm not going to dedicate a whole lot of time towards it, but I did spend most of the day yesterday on it. stirring it pretty good because that will flatten it right out really quickly if you don't hold it back. Yeah, and I'll give you a hint. I'm going to be using steel and wood. That's your hint. I actually did a teaser. Of yesterday of it. Alright, I'm going to go in and pick a spot and start stepping it down. I started stepping it down right in that area. What I may do is, just to make it more even, easier, is maybe I'll just put a smaller kiss block in there. And we'll drop that down to, I don't know, 3/8 or a quarter. There's a half. Good. Mirror keeps. A nice pick nail. Oh, you're not far off. But it's a nice piece of wood. It's a piece of maple that I cut off right next to a knot. It's got a little bit of that, almost like a curly look to it. Yeah, quarter looks too thin. We go 3/8. I was half expecting to see Jack tonight. Foam rubber dies, huh? Now, my tire hammer is far from a traditional design. My wheel is actually mounted on the back, and I got two pillow block bearings and a shaft that comes through the front. Let me leave the kiss blocks in. I can round it up with it. Alright. So that section's all rounded up. The end's still square. But that's actually where it's square is smaller than where the kiss block is set right now. So I have to pull that kiss block out in order to round it anymore. And then this hammer doesn't have the greatest control. It's not horrible. So when I get down towards the points in the very end, I'll come over and just do it by hand. So now, rounded up pretty much all but that last couple inches, and I'm not going to do that on the hammer. Working some high carbon. So you making a chisel or? Oh, never mind. I won't ask. I only, the one thing I hate is that no welding. I mean, that really sucks. Good thing Rob Huff is in here to see me, banging flats right now. drill bit? No, that would need more than one material. Unless you were making a concrete bit and you were silver soldering on some carbide bits or something. Oh yeah, and I did stop by and buy this here fancy brass rod to make a rivet. Little teaser. Now I'm just rounding up where I drew down the taper. A little bit left. Huh, nobody's talking anymore, huh? Lost interest, everybody left? Does anybody know if there's a way that on OBS I can see how many people are watching while I'm right down. Nobody's chatting anymore. There's the working end. Alright. For a minute there, Trail Dust, I thought it wasn't working and everybody left. No, the camera doesn't reverse it. I bent it the wrong way. I was starting to wonder the same thing. Alexis. So I was almost getting ready to go over there and just log in and try watching YouTube to make sure it was still on. I mean, I don't know if this is too much different from, you know, a left to a right. There, okay, let me go look. Yeah, that was Steve's. Damn it, everything's backwards on the camera. So that was Steve's, and my other one was the opposite of Steve's. Hey Jack, how you doing? I started my railroad spikes steak flipper, and what was that? How long ago was that, guys? I don't know, 27 minutes ago I started the stream, but we talked for a little bit first. Now I got to find my twisting wrench and twist up the handle. Or actually, maybe I don't need the twisting wrench. Huh, it's kind of weird. Let me take another heat, twist that a little more. But the kind of weird part that I was talking about is on the top of this, where you see everybody, they'll say HC and stuff. This one just has a number 3. And it looks like it was a brand new one that's never been used. I looked at it and I didn't see any indications that it had been hammered on the head or any wear points like they normally have. So yeah, Jack, you kind of missed it because I had the power hammer going and I did most of it under the hammer. It's weird because these heads that I got, there's so much difference in them. Like the tongs barely grab that one. It's almost loose. This one, it's real tight. I can't even close them. I need to Goldilocks it and find one that fits just right. That's not too bad right there. straighten that twist out. Line everything up. What kind of muscle relaxant are you taking, Jack? Now, problem that I got is that twist isn't even. I couldn't put it in sideways, and I could put it in sideways there and tighten up that last little section, but the easiest way to do it for me anyway is just to get the torch out. If you don't have the torch, yeah, you can heat that up, cool where you don't want, where it's already twisted too much, so that you're not twisting it anymore. Problem with using the wrench is once you put the wrench on there, that takes up area. Look at it on the floor. Where'd it go? It's right there. Yeah, my problem, Jack, is that when it comes to the painkillers and stuff, that I can only take a limited few of them because they interact with my heart meds. So a lot of times they just give me a, as strange as it may sound, instead of giving me a painkiller, they'll give me a steroidal anti-inflammatory. There. That looks better. Yeah, I know I cheated, but you know what? I might as well show you guys. It can be done. You guys have all seen it done before, but I might as well show you how I do it because I have the tools. Yeah, I got a weird brain chemistry thing too, and I learned years ago that morphine has absolutely no effect on me. But most of the time, if I'm in pain, my doctor will actually give me prednisone. And within a couple days, I'm usually feeling great again. All right, now that I got that twist nice and even, this isn't lined up anymore, so I'll heat it up and just line that up. Then we'll figure something else we want to play around with. One of us. Alright, so now I'm just to the point where I'm doing a little straightening and tweaking. I could have done that with this torch too, instead of going back in the forge, but oh well. So, Thomas, you still here? piece of beeswax. So it doesn't look like Thomas is here anymore. I'm smoking myself out. I think I need to put more water in my 5-gallon bucket slack tub here. Apparently when I did my more twisting, I got a little bend in it. That's okay. Good that way. I don't know, I'm glad I didn't do it by hand. That would have been like 2 hours probably anyway to do that by hand, because it took, 35, 40 minutes, because I didn't start right off. There's a stake flipper, twisted handle, flipper end. And since Thomas ain't here anymore, they keep making the Blacksmith Monthly challenges. They keep saying no electric welding. So yeah. Well, they keep saying no electric welding. So just to be a wise guy, my tool was a chipping hammer. Let's see if I can't. Well, it's hard to see. I got to re-etch it. This was just a coffee etch, and usually I etch it with muriatic first. But I didn't have any. But there's my chipping hammer. There's my wooden handle. There's a ferrule that goes on it. I haven't drilled down into the handle yet, but when I get done, it'll be the welder's chipping hammer. Then the ferrule piece is a piece of 3/4 inch pipe, nothing fancy. But I'm going to take that and actually gold leaf that so that it looks like brass. And gold leaf that ferrule part and then put a brass pin in it. But you got lots more to do. Let me see, maybe see if I can't get it on this camera. It's just too hard to see right now. I gotta get a deeper etch. Like I said, I like the coffee because it leaves a dark etch, and that had a dark etch, but I actually cleaned it up so that I could yeah, Damascus chip and hammer. So that'll be my February thing, and that's just to be a smart ass because they keep saying no electric welding. So I made the chip and hammer. And so I know for a while, Jack, you used to start every show doing a leaf. And I started, the first couple shows that I did, I started out by making leaves. And I love making leaves, and everybody makes their leaves differently. How many people here have never seen me make a leaf? So there's that. I don't know, I'll just throw this in an iron in the hat probably next weekend at our group meeting. Yeah, there's a piece. All right. Jeff Killian. The experimental leaf, which one's that? Was that this one? Oh, you mean the stylized leaf. The stylized leaf, actually right here. I mean, this is really easy all you got to do is make like a teardrop shaped punch. And mine, one of the guys in our chapter, our guild, as some people call it, works for a pharmaceutical company. Now I don't know where that punch went. Well, one of the guys in our guild works for a pharmaceutical company, so he brings home these dyes. These are used to make pills. He brings them home, they're different sizes, different pills. And but they're all S7, so I made the teardrop out of one of these to make that. And I guess I'm not going to do that right now because I can't find that teardrop punch. All right. But in the meantime, all right, in the meantime, Jack, here's how I make leaves. This is just a regular bar where I cut it off. It's got a little bit of taper, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't have the taper. Then I'm going to put a taper on it anyway as step one. I'm going to kind of explain, but at the same time, I'm not going to stop at every step and explain. I may do 2 or 3 steps in one heat. These go pretty fast. All right. So I like using 3/8 square. It gives me a little bit more volume of material than if I do a start with round stock. And I'll take that 3/8 square, and when I spread them probably 1.5 inches wide. So the first thing we're going to do is draw our little taper on it. We'll hang a little bit over the edge of the anvil, knock it down, and start making our stem. See, there's the tip on the end and the stem drawn out. And then I usually go, oh hey Thomas, where'd you go? I did all kinds of incredible stuff while you were gone and you missed it. go in and round that stem up. And when I pull it out, I'm going to flatten it with this hammer. I'll stand it up on the diamond. Yeah, I used to have energy too. That's why I did that stake flipper over there in the power hammer, because I ran out. This Holden tank, I don't know, it's defective. And I'll bang it down a little bit and then go to my cross peen. And really draw it out. Let me get my hold down or hold fast that I made the other day. You can see I still didn't straighten it where I overbent the bend there, but it'll still work. Alright, so that's pretty much standard to what everybody else does when they make leaves. You can see, man, set my hand down on it, it was hot. But you can see I put that rib in there, and that's pretty much standard to the way everybody else does them. But when it comes time to do the veins to the outside, instead of taking a chisel and just putting them notches to the outside, I just use a cross peen with a kind of a tight radius on the end. I hate trying to show things because the camera is backwards. And I just walk up one side and down the other. fill it full of the dents running to the outside. Yeah, well, I use a fuller. I mean, this one's definitely a fuller. But a lot of other guys will take a chisel and do it with a chisel. Now I bend it up so that it's not flat. Yeah, and then fullers, they come in kind of handy. The other thing I do is, they curve in both directions. You know, they're curved and they're rounded there, but they're also rounded here, so that when I go in, I can move it and I can turn. So if I go in and I'm not, if you use a straight one that's just straight across here, the corners will dig in, and then if you try to make a line that turns, or if you start off and you try to correct and come back to where you belong, it's easier to do if you've got a rounder one. You can see here's just a couple with just different radiuses. Like this one is real tight. That one's almost a chisel. And that one's more rounded. And that one's even more rounded. And that one. And this one here is basically a chisel, but it's rounded on the end instead of straight across. And that one's really, really big radius. A worn out jackhammer chisel bit. Yeah, okay. I mean, most of these were just chunks of coil springs, automotive or industrial coil springs, depending on where I got them. And when I go in this drawer right here, go in there, not that one. But all those are all just made out of coil springs, different shapes, There's a really big round fuller that I made and used once for a job. There's a ball nose one. You know, and I've got round tapered, square tapers. But all this is just springs. But I do have access to different size springs that most people bigger than car springs. So I can go from this, which I don't even think is quite half-inch diameter, to I get these big springs. They come out of shaker tables at work, and like this one's a perfect example. This one's broke. I'll cut off to here. I'll usually cut that whole wrap off and I'll set it aside. And I do use it sometimes, but I'll usually stay at least a quarter turn away from the crack. And as for people saying, oh, they're all full of micro cracks and all that, I've really found that not to be the case. Because once they get a crack, that crack creates a stress riser and it continues through before the rest of it all micro cracks. So, yeah, Jack, that spring I used to make I use the bigger springs, like this piece here and here, for doing vanes in a leaf. Those were made out of one of them big springs. There's one of them Bics, but I don't know, I never use it. My horn comes down pretty small. I don't really see a need. Scroll starter. That's a block, just in case I have to hit in between two shoulders and this is too wide, and I can come up and go across that block. But yeah, I use my big springs and stuff for that. If I turn the camera around, back behind the camera, this garage, or my shop, looks like an episode of Hoarders. Just all kinds of stuff piled up here and there and everywhere. Actually, everywhere the camera can't see is pretty much that way. Over in behind my forge over there is a big mess that I need to clean up. Got a couple welders and stuff sitting back there. And back there I got another welder, plasma cutter. Set of torches, power hammer, drill press. Up inside that cabinet over here is my air compressor. That I keep up in the cabinet because it's a lot quieter. This is all insulated, and I got the compressor running. You can barely hear it. Steve Schleicher at North Country Forge moved his up and mounted his up on a shelf, and I saw that, and I came back and moved mine up and stuck it on top of that counter. went one step farther and built that box around it and insulated it. Yeah, I didn't say I had too many tools, I just have a lot of junk. I have a small collection of hammers. Not as many as most guys. There's my hammer rack. There's, right on the side of my forge, there's a tong rack. So I got my tongs there, but there's a bunch of tongs up here too. Need to go back in the rack. Set this back down. Oh, look at that. Almost perfect. So, anyway, Jack, that's how I make my leaves. And I've just been making some, and every now and then I'll... Yeah, Thomas, I told you I did some pretty incredible feats of magic while you were gone. Now I gotta figure out where I put it. Oh, over here. All right. So I twisted the handle, nothing fancy, just a plain old twist. And that's not a very big, you know what I mean? Like some of them I see, they got big, wide, you know, twists on them, and that loop is a big, huge thing, but really it just needs to stab in and flip the stake and then pull it back out. I mean, if you look at, like I showed earlier, let me find something for a size reference. Like a pick lighter. So you can see how that's not a very big loop. This was on one that I made before, just out a 1/4 inch rod. And here's one that Steve from North Country Forge, Steve Slaker, made. See if I can get it in where you guys can see it. But there's the size of it compared to a lighter. So it's pretty small. And then the one I did on the railroad spike is bigger than, way bigger than both them other ones. But really, they don't have to be that big. Anybody ever stretch a railroad spike out just to see how long you can make it? Oh, I did that back when I had my air hammer years ago. Probably 18 years ago maybe. It's almost long enough to use it for a cane. My wife doesn't complain though. Size queen. Yeah, and then I've got another one here. This one isn't very big. I have no idea who made this. I won it in an iron in the hat. You know, and you know, if I win something like this in the iron in the hat, you guys can see it was a beginner, but I'll still keep it. No, Thomas, I used the power hammer. If I did it by hand, I'd probably still be doing it. Alright, that can go to the club. But, you know, how far I can draw one out in 15 minutes? Alright, we can do that. I haven't done this since I had my heart attack, but I think the best I ever got by hand in 15 minutes, we had a competition, and it was at our local guild meeting, and I think I got like 18 inches. But we'll see. Measure it before hot. I mean, you get a whole bucket of them, they're all about the same length. So we'll say, get my tape measure. Man, they're starting out, they're about 6 inches. So we'll start the clock once it's up to temp. Oh, you're going to go live next? All right. Put a glove on. I really hate using those tongs to try to get it out of the fire. I mean, they grip it good once it's out, and I can lay it on the forge and then grab it with the tongs. But we'll see what I can do here in 15 minutes. And like I said, Thomas, you spend a lot more time at your forge than I do. So within a year, you're probably going to be better than I am. So is the contest a smooth taper Or just how long can you get it in 15 minutes? Start the clock. Heat it back up. Nice and even taper. Okay. 15 minutes. Should have done it with a clean fire. You can use Cole Thomas or gas board. Top of 725. I don't know what that is. Six and a half inches in 15 minutes and it's starting at 6. Yeah. Whew. All I can say is in the old days I would have kept hammering on that. Now I'm older and smarter. I put it back in and heat it up again. What's the time, guys? Holy shit. $7:30, I'm halfway. Whew. Now I got a power hammer over there. Handle's cracked on this. Give it a quick tape job. That's why I didn't go for this one in the first place. minutes. 6 more minutes. All right. Five minutes remaining. All right. Of course, you know, I'm going to shut the camera off before I measure it, go over there to the power hammer. It's a lot easier to draw it out if you're not trying to keep it smooth. I'm done with that one. I'm too old for that hammer. That was my go-to hammer about 6, 7 years ago. It's getting there. I don't think this one has anything on the head. Are you going on YouTube, Thomas, or are you going on Insta shit crap? I hate that one. Yeah, what the heck. What's the time? Less than 1 minute. Okay, so I'm pretty much done. I'll just smooth it up and that'll be it. Time? Alright. I just straighten it. And dunk it. Whew. All right. So, yeah, it's far from perfect. But it's a reasonably clean taper. And okay. I don't know where you want to count that to, but 14 inches. Which doesn't surprise me, like I said. I know in my heyday I did 17 or 18 inches in 15 minutes. And I'm definitely not in the same shape I was then. Alright, so Thomas is going to go over and on Instagram. So I'll have to watch that on my phone. Yeah, I don't know why Thomas just doesn't use his computer. I actually dragged the first couple lives I did out here, I did off my laptop, and then when I set up this TV up here, I've got like a, I don't know, 42-inch TV that I'm reading the chat on and stuff. I got another TV over there. But when I put this TV up and I put the second camera up and started using the OBS, I'm doing it right through an old Dell Optiplex 790. So, I mean, it's an old one that I set up for iRacing back at the very beginning of the coronavirus epidemic thing there, when they had the lockdown and there was nothing to do, and my wife got mad because they weren't doing NASCAR races and stuff, so I set up a computer for iRacing, and it's not very fast. I mean, it's got like a i5 2500 processor in it, so it was a good processor in 2010. And like I said, this one's just, it's an old, I think the i5 came out in, the 2500 i5 came out in 2011. Because, well, all right. These guys don't usually see this, but all right. I have another screen over there, and I'm running everything off of that desktop. Just an old desktop right now. And I got a screen there and another screen over there. I mean, we're not like Jack. We don't have all them real fancy, newer computers and all that. So when you going on, Thomas? Because I'll probably have to watch right off my phone. First, I gotta find it. I know I brought it out. For a minute there, I thought I dropped the camera right on top of it, but it's not where I thought it was. Yeah. Cool. I gotta find my phone. I don't know where I put it. That's there. It's there. Huh. Where the heck did I set my phone down? Not in my pockets. Yeah, that's weird now. I don't know where I put my phone down. Looking all over, can't find it. You know, if I had a phone, I could call my wife and have her call my phone, and I'd know where it is. Weird. I don't know. Let me look and see. No. And I literally just looked at it to see what time it was just before I started the stream. So I know I had it out here because I had OBS and stuff up and I couldn't see the time. And I had it right here, I thought, right next to the computer. Let me see if I can pull up Instagram on here. like that. Yeah, that's weird. I literally have no idea where my phone went. Oh, found it, fell on the floor. Oh, that power hammer. I found it. It was on the floor. All right, anybody know if you went on yet? All right, guys, he's on Instagram. So I don't know if you guys want to watch over there or watch, and I'll leave the YouTube up. Comment here or comment there. Come on, it's your turn. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Thomas. 'Cause I thought he was going to go on right after I did mine, and from what I'm seeing, I don't think he's on yet. Yeah, there he is. He's not on yet. Oh, all right. Well, I'm still waiting for him. So I guess while we're waiting for Thomas, we can, I don't know, what can we do? I got you. I got this piece of steel here. I don't know, man. It's kind of funny looking. Oh, hang on. I don't like cutting into other people's screws. Yeah, Thomas, we were just kind of waiting for you to get on before I got off. Well, I guess on that camera that looks pretty normal. How about on the end? Yeah, on the end it looks different. Oh no, Thomas, whenever you're ready to start yours, let me know. I just left this on till you get going. Keep these guys entertained, something to do until then. Look. I got one of them style I made the other day. Don't know why. Yeah, I think I'm going to drop out of this too. Hey, did you guys notice at any point, was the video jumpy? Because I'm just looking up here on my thing and it says that I had 59 dropped frames. And ideas, guys, ideas. What do you guys want to see? I mean, if it's not super complicated and it's something I can do in an hour or two on a Sunday, I might do it as a live stream. Okay. Yeah, I mean, 59%, it still says zero, you know, it's less than 1% of the total frames. Because I've been streaming for 2 hours and 3 minutes. But I'm thinking about adding a third camera. And I think it'll keep up just fine. Because I'm not really dropping right now, and that could be... there was a buzz in the audio. I wonder if that was before I muted it. What time is it anyway? 8:04. So Thomas will be on in a little while. Maybe I'll head up into the house, shut everything down, head up into the house. We'll have to see if he beats me. I got 14 inches. But like I said, I kind of expected that. You know, before my heart attack and stuff, I did one and it went to 17 or 18, and that was probably as good as I was ever going to get. All right, guys, I'm going to close this down.